Travis, welcome into the program. I'm really excited. I've gotten a chance to see the movie, and as a meteorologist myself, obviously someone who's charged on giving out information to people and helping them stay safe in these situations. I just came at this thinking that 13 minutes, when you're waiting for something you really want, 13 minutes can seem like an inordinate amount of time to wait for that last thing that is really something that's going to make you happy. But when something is bearing down on you, like the biggest tornado ever, 13 minutes is not a lot of time. And so I think this film does a great job in talking about, some of the challenges that are there in these situations in terms of finding out about us as people, in terms of what we are like as people and in these dangerous situations. Travis, one of the things I know you helped produce, Lindsay Gosling, the director and writer of the movie, and I think because of your storm chasing, and which is a big part of your life, help contribute to the ideas of the storm. I want to talk a little bit before we get into the movie itself, how that really contributed to the ideas of this story and some of the things to kind of emphasize when you were looking at the movie. You've been storm chasing 10, 11 years now. You live in Canada, but you spend a lot of the spring and summer months down in the middle of the United States in Tornado Alley. So that's been kind of your wealth of resource and how you tried to help Lindsay and get this film written and produced and get ready for the actors to step on the sets, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So I've spent years and a lot of time down in Tornado Alley, all across kind of the Plain States. And I think that being a storm chaser, the way that it contributed in the kind of conceptualizing of this film was just the fact that so many tornado films are focused on storm chasers, and they are a lot of fun, but they're not real. And so we decided that we wanted to, first and foremost, make a film that really grounded itself and rooted itself in the communities and the people who live, in areas where they're impacted by these types of deadly, destructive events, and show kind of the real side of a day like this. And so as a storm chaser, you're always out there looking for the beauty and the power of nature, but you're hoping to see it unfolding out over the open plains, over the prairie. And the worst part about being a storm chaser is knowing that from time to time, people are impacted. What's so important about film is that you can tell a story and you can start discussions or participate in discussions and really get people talking and thinking about how they're going to behave, how they're going to act, how they're going to respond. And that's really what we were just getting at with 13 minutes.
It's kind of like that fusion between entertaining someone, but also giving them some information and some things to try to inform them, because let's face it, I mean, tornadoes we know where the maxes are every year. Tornado Alley in the spring. We get a second max in this country, in the United States, in the fall as well. But we're seeing tornadic activity in places that we didn't normally expected with this evolving climate and the changing climate. Farther north, AccuWeather's based in State College, Pennsylvania, and I've seen more tornado warnings around our situation, and we've been giving out warnings even farther north in these situations. So this is not only a Tornado Alley problem anymore. This is becoming more of a problem throughout much of the country. While it's not going to be necessarily the super Category 5 storm that is bearing down on this town that is in the movie, but anything like this can help the people get ready and think about this kind of thing and do it in an entertaining way. Was that kind of the goal as well?
Absolutely. So when we developed all of the characters and the storylines and the arcs of 13 minutes, what we did was we considered first, what are the different reasons that people find themselves in trouble during severe weather events? And we focused on, the notion that some people might not believe a warning.
Right.
They might be insensitized to warnings.
I think sometimes the wordings that we use, like when you hear things like slight risk, well, that doesn't sound like a very big problem, but those are the kinds, sometimes we can have the worst situations because people aren't necessarily prepared. So it's the way we present it too sometimes.
Oh, for sure. It's the way that we talk about it. And to that point, one of our goals and one of our missions and our kind of our North Star in making this film was making sure that we were true to the language around watches, warnings, and all of the kind of lingo that goes into how we communicate a severe weather event to society or to communities. So we were true to that. We were absolutely true to the weather. So we followed weather patterns throughout the film. The way that the skies unfold over the course of the film, up to and including this absolutely fierce and horrific tornado impact, all of that mirrors the human dramas that our characters are experiencing during this day. And we made sure that there's every sky replacement that we did, every choice that we made with VFX, all of it stayed true to nature and grounded in reality, because ultimately we had faith that the audience doesn't need us to glorify a day like this or, take too many creative liberties with an event like this. We just leaned into the realism of it and knew that that would be the most dramatic, action-packed and important way to put a day like this onto the screen.
So other than yourself, who spends a lot of time storm chasing, did you have a lot of other folks that have background in severe weather meteorology contributing? Or as I watched it, I was really Fasinelli did a good job being the meteorologist on air. I was Peter. I was really impressed. And so, did you have other contributions from other people in meteorology and storm chasing and that?
First, I want to acknowledge you are absolutely right. Peter and the rest of our amazing cast just embodied the characters so well and knocked it out of the park. But I will say, I developed kind of the weatherscape that unfolds over the course of the film. And we had two additional weather consultants, Francis Levine-Thoreau and Alex Goldstein, who helped me in kind of fact checking and making sure that we got it all right. And then we had, a production design team, we had a VFX team, and we had a sound design team. We had our director, our producers, and everyone involved was absolutely focused in learning and understanding the weather and how they could put it on to the screen in the most realistic way possible. So it was very much a team effort in putting together what we believe is the most kind of weather accurate extreme weather film out there.